Ahoy, and welcome aboard the Afro Tales podcast. I am your Griot, Amon Mazingo, here to guide you through captivating tales rooted in the histories of Indigenous and African descendant peoples across the Americas and the Caribbean. But the journey does not end there. I, Chef, will share a delicious recipe inspired by the stories you have just heard. So, with no further ado, let us set sail on this new age of exploration.
Wolf and Birds and the Fish-Horse. Think a sea wave left this tale on the doorstep. This about one wolf and his nephew. See, they were having this dance out there across the water, and his nephew wanted to fool Wolf. So he told Wolf it was going to be a feast and not a dance. Wolf found the birds, asked them to lend him feathers so he could go fly across to the feast. The birds did give him feathers. Wolf went on out there and the dance started up. Wolf was angry when he saw there was a dance and not a feast. Wolf asked his nephew for something to eat. Nephew said, "No, there's nothing to eat. It's no feast. It's a dance." The first one to get up and dance was Black Crow. Wolf gets awful loud, says, "Black Crow, you think you somebody. If you didn't always dig up corn, you'd be fine." Crow took back the feather he'd given to Wolf. The next one to dance was Ugly Vulture. Wolf had to go say, "Vulture, you think you somebody. If you wasn't always looking for dead goats and donkeys to eat, you might beat some just fine." That made Vulture take back his feather too. Here comes to dance old Blue Jay. Wolf started saying, "Blue Jay, you think you somebody. Good thing you don't see that red mouth of yours. Without it, you'd be fine." Blue Jay went ahead and took back his feather. Dancing by came the hawk. Old Wolf had to say, "You, hawk, you think you somebody? If you weren't always hunting people's chickens, you'd be just fine." Hawk snatched back his feather off of Wolf. Just then, Guinea Hen came by dancing. Wolf says, "Guinea Hen, you think you somebody? But you don't see your own skinny head. If it was bigger, you'd be just fine." Guinea Hen took back her feather. When the dance was over, everybody left. Wolf was all alone out there. All alone and awful hungry. No food. Wolf started up crying. Then comes swimming by who they call Ain't Fish Horse. Sea Wolf is out there near the water. Can't get across it. She says to Wolf, "What is wrong with you? Are you sick?" Wolf says back, "The birds loan me their feathers. I fly to the dance, and after a while, they take their feathers back. Then they left me all by myself out here." Wolf says, "Fish Horse, if you take me to my own place, I'll pay you for it." "Well, jump on my back," she tells him. And so that's what Wolf did. She took him on to his place by way of the water. Halfway there, Wolf notices that Aunt Fish Horse has milk. He will take her milk from her as soon as they reach shore. And he does. At the beach, he pulls out the milk. He left Aunt Fish-Horse crying on the beach. There came nephew passing by. "Why are you crying like that?" he asks Aunt Fish-Horse. She tells him, "Wolf did it. Wolf tore out my milk." "If you pay me, I'll put a wolf back in your hands," says nephew. "If you can do that," Aunt Fish-Horse says, "I'll give you whatever you want." So, nephew headed for home. Halfway there, he starts hollering, "Get my knife and my bowl, wife! Wife, there's a fish horse lying on the beach waiting for me to kill it." Wolf heard the hollering. "It's mine," he called to his nephew. "I left Aunt Fish-Horse there lying there to get my own knife and bowl. Don't you touch her. She's mine." Wolf hurries down to the beach with his knife and bowl and his wife too. He grabs Aunt Fish-Horse to kill her, but she grabbed him back, got him by the leg, and pulled him into the sea with her. Wolf's wife is crying at the sight. "Don't cry," Wolf tells her. "Aunt Fish-Horse is just playing." Aunt Fish-Horse dives to the bottom and stays a minute. When Wolf is up again, his wife is still crying. "Don't cry like that while I'm still breathing," Wolf tells his wife. Aunt Fish-Horse dives again, stays down a long time. She comes up, Wolf is choking. His wife is crying still. "Better cry now." Wolf chokes and sputters to his wife. For Fish-Horse is killing me." Aunt Fish-Horse dived to the bottom with Wolf. Wolf came up 2 days ago. He was full of little fish and sand and water. Nephew caught the little fish. They had a funeral for Wolf. I saw it go by. All his children cried for him. All his people did too. The end. The Beautiful Girl of the Moon Tower. There was a son named Anton. He dreamed that a girl placed a handkerchief over his face. He woke up but saw no one. Anton told his mother what he had dreamed. His mother said, "Anton, you dreamed of something enchanted." A few days later, Anton dreamed the dream again, and it was exactly the same. A girl placed a handkerchief over his face. "Anton," his mother said, "you dream of a girl who lives with her father in the Tower of the Moon." Anton thought about how to get there, to the Tower of the Moon. He started out. In the middle of a field, he met an eagle, an ant, a lion, and a dove. The four were quarreling over dividing a dead ox. Anton was kind enough to divide it for them. The eagle, the ant, the lion, and the dove were grateful. The eagle said to Anton, "Wherever you are in trouble, call for me like this. O eagle that flies 7 miles without tiring or sweating." The ant said to him, "Wherever you are in trouble, call for me. O ant that goes where nobody knows." The lion said to him, "Wherever you are in trouble, call for me. O lion, king of the animals, and I will save you." The dove said to him, "Wherever you are in trouble, call for me. O dove that flies 7 miles without tiring or sweating, and I will save you. Anton went, and he went, and he kept on going. He came to a place where he did not know what to do. Then he called, I, make me an eagle that flies 7 miles without tiring or sweating. He turned into an eagle, and he flew 7 miles without tiring or sweating. Then Anton came to the house of the mother of the wind. The mother of the wind said to him, "Good day, my grandson." "Good day, my grandmother," said Anton. "Why do you come here?" she said to him. "This is a place nobody ever came to before. My son is very bad." "I'm looking for a girl who lives in the Tower of the Moon," Anton told Mother of the Wind. They heard a noise that sounded as though it was breaking the trees. It was the wind coming home. When he arrived, he said, "Mother, my mother, I smell royal blood here." "No, you don't smell royal blood," Wind's mother said. "Not here, you don't, because not a creature comes here." Then Anton called, I, make me an ant that goes where nobody knows." He turned into an ant and hid in a crack of the door. Wind said, "My mother, give me water. I am thirsty. Give me food to eat. I'm hungry. I've been blowing through all of the trees and past every house all over the world. And now I am tired." So Wind drank, and he ate, and he lay down resting. "Let me ask you something," his mother said. "Do you know the way to the Tower of the Moon?" "Oh, I came from there a minute ago," said Wind. "Anyone who goes there must pass by the inhabitants of the moon." Wind was full, and he had rested, so he left to blow again, and he blew through the world. Anton, who was an ant, called for dove. He said, I, make me a dove that flies 7 miles without tiring or sweating." He turned into a dove, and he flew until he came to the inhabitants of the moon. He saw the Tower of the Moon. He flew to the window. He called for the ant. I, make me an ant that goes where nobody knows." And he turned into an ant again. He went straight to the beautiful girl's room. He said, I, make me Anton." When he spoke, Anton turned into himself. The girl asked him, "What are you doing here?" Anton answered, "I've come to get you to marry me." "I cannot marry you," she said. "My father would not let me." "If there is no other way," said Anton, "I will take your father's life. Go ask him where his life is." Then he called for the ant. I, make me an ant that goes where nobody knows." The ant went under the father's bed. The girl came there to her father. She asked him, "My father, where is your life?" Her father said, "Why do you ask me? It is for some bedevilment." "No, I only want to know," she said. "Well, he said to her, "my life is inside the belly of a hog. In my garden, inside the hog's belly is an egg. Inside the egg is my life." The ant that was Anton had been listening, and he said, I, make me a boy." Anton turned into himself. He went to the girl's room. He said to her, "Now I'm going to kill that hog. I, make me an eagle that flies 7 miles without tiring or sweating." He turned into an eagle. He flew to the father's garden. He fought with the hog, but could not get the better of it. So he called for the lion and said, I, make me a lion, the king of the animals." He turned into a lion. He fought with the hog. As soon as he began to fight, the father of the girl became sick. The more Anton beat the hog, the sicker the father became. Finally, Anton killed the hog. He opened it up and took out the egg. He broke the egg, and the father died. Anton called for the dove again. I, make me a dove that flies 7 miles without tiring or sweating." He became a dove. He flew to the window of the tower, where he turned into the ant and went inside. The house was covered in black. They buried the father. As himself, Anton married the girl. He became king of the inhabitants of the moon. And the beautiful girl of the tower became queen. The end. Wow. These were 2 interesting stories. I have to admit, so these stories come from The People Could Fly, American Black Folk Tales told by Virginia Hamilton, illustrated by Leo and Diane Dillon. So the first story, Wolf. One, you deserve everything you got. It was a joke, right? Okay, you came to the wrong type of party. But you did not have to. I feel like he got drunk at the party and started going in on people that he ain't had no business going in on because they helped him get over there to begin with. Like, I'm your ride to the party, and then you start talking crazy to me. I'm not going to be your ride home, right? That's just not going to happen. And that's what Wolf did here, right? He was basically, being an a-hole, right? So, but one thing got me, right, while I'm reading this story. What is a fish-horse? So the one thing I love about this particular book by Virginia Hamilton is that at the end of the story, she'll give you a little background. So this story and the other story both come from the Cape Verde Islands. A little quick history about the Cape Verde Islands. They are a Portuguese territory, right? But they were a resting stop for the transatlantic slave trade by the Portuguese and everything. It was an island or a set of islands where they would take enslaved Africans, drop them off there for a while, and then ship them to the Americas. Many of them went to Brazil, many of them went to the Caribbean, but some did land in the Americas, and I think that's what where these 2 particular stories came from. Those Portuguese immigrants or enslaved Africans that came from Cape Verde Islands. This story was originally told in what they call the Portuguese Mandingo dialect. So that tells you a lot about that. But the term fish horse or fish cow is a manatee or a walrus. And when you look at the imagery in the book, and maybe I'll post it ahead of time. If you look at the imagery in the book, it is a walrus. He's riding the back of a walrus, and that killed me as soon as I looked at the picture when I was reading. I'm like, he's right. A fish horse, a fish cow, a walrus, or a manatee. You know, whatever what you want to do. That killed me. That's why I had to include this particular story. And besides the fact that both came from Cape Verde. Now, Anton, I got words for. I don't appreciate Anton. I don't like Anton. Anton had no reason to kill the dad. Okay, I don't. There was nothing in this story that told me the dad was holding his daughter prisoner, or that he had a problem with Anton, or had a problem with anything. Like, she says, her daddy ain't gonna allow her to get married, from what she knows. And the dad kind of called it, right? The king, he was like, "Yo, you asked me where my life is. It's some, bedevilment going on. You're planning something." And they were, and they did. I really feel like the daughter wanted to be queen by any means necessary. This is just me. And when Anton, and she was sending that message to Anton because, like, all right, I found me a little boo. He gonna come out here, he gonna do what I need him to do. And he did, because there was no reason for it. Like, nothing in the story said, all right, you could have literally just went to the king and said, hey, I want to marry your daughter. And he might have said, okay, all right, no problem. You know what I mean? But he didn't. He said, yo, if you say your daddy ain't going to allow it to go down, I kill him for it. But you just met this woman. Why is you ready to kill somebody for it, You don't know her. You saw her in a dream a couple times. You don't know her. But yeah, so I feel like they killed the dad for no reason. And the fact that he got, but it's one of those kind of stories. Again, this comes from Cape Verde Islands. And according to Miss Virginia Hamilton, or Mrs. Virginia Hamilton, I don't know what her marital situation at when she wrote these books. They are what they call an exaggerated reality tale. Okay, I call it basically a fairy tale, but real type of characters, and the characters are exaggerated powers and that type of stuff like that. Fanciful type characters, but yeah, I didn't have much for these. I just really wanted to share them. There's a couple people on YouTube that share these the stories from this book too. I love Virginia Hamilton's stories. I love her books. I got a bunch more stories to read out of this book. I got a couple things I think I'm put on Patreon from the other book. Some accounts post-slavery. So be on the lookout for that. I'm doing shorts on Patreon. I feel like I've been cheating you guys for your support, but I'm doing a little short, little jaunts, as they call them in the nautical realm. Little jaunts for you guys. So anyway, go see Chef. He has a wonderful recipe for you. I don't know where it's going to come from because these individuals landed all over, and there's no real particular location for these stories. So probably something, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be. Anyway, go see Chef. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for doing what you do. All right. I love it and I appreciate it. And until next time, as always, have a blessed day. Welcome, my friends, to the Galley. I am your chef, and today we have a wonderful recipe inspired by the stories you've just heard. Today, we will be creating Brazilian-style chicken wings. Now, what do we need for this crispy recipe? 2 pounds small chicken wings, or patty wings. Juice of 3 limes. 5 garlic cloves, minced. 5 garlic cloves, sliced. Half a cup olive oil. Half a cup of flour. Red bell pepper flakes, optional. Salt and pepper. Chopped parsley to garnish. Lime wedges to garnish. Vegetable oil to fry. Now, how do we put this together? Easy. In a large bowl, combine the lime juice, the minced garlic, and the salt and pepper. Add the chicken wings and toss them with the marinade, making sure every piece of chicken is coated. Cover and bring the bowl to the fridge overnight. Next, add the flour and the wings to a Ziploc bag. Close the bag and shake it so every wing is coated with flour. Fill a saucepan with enough oil to deep fry the wings. Heat the oil over medium-high heat, and when the oil is hot enough, lower the heat to medium-low and start frying the wings in batches, 5 or 6 at a time. When the wings look cooked and beginning to gain color, turn the heat up to high so they get extra crispy and fry them until golden brown. Set the fried wings over a paper towel to observe the excess oil. Turn the heat back to low and proceed to frying the other wings. Once all wings are fried, transfer them to a serving dish and decorate with some lime slices and wedges. In a saute pan, heat the olive oil and saute with sliced garlic. Pour that garlic over the wings. Finish the dish with some chopped parsley and red pepper flakes if using, and serve. You can serve with Tabasco sauce on the side for the spicy aficionados. And that is it, my friends. Now, go. Make this recipe yours. And until I have another wonderful recipe, remember the stories of the Moon Tower Girl and how Wolf got what he best deserved. Until next time, my friends, as always, enjoy.
And that brings an end to another voyage. May these tales inspire, connect, and nourish your soul, just as Chef's dish fills your belly. Until next time, keep exploring, learning, and sharing the ancestors' stories. Fair winds and following seas.